Hello, homesteaders. Welcome to our homestead by the creek. You can see behind me is our little single wide that we had put up on our 20 acres. And I am now walking out to the back where our farm is. Back there is our little single wide that we had put down. And then we've got to trek all the way up here to what we call the farm. We have fenced off a space for our chickens and a garden on one side and the other side, and space in the back for the pigs. We moved here about 2 years ago and have slowly been building on and adding to the space that we have. Right now I am doing our afternoon, which includes feeding the little baby chicks. We just got, well, not just, about 10 weeks ago, we got 17 little birds that have now moved out into their own creek, their own space. Half of them we bought at Tractor Supply, and then some of them we had somebody hatch for us, but we've got a rooster among us and another one. I'm not sure how that's gonna go. But we just built this space for them so that they would have a little coop. And soon we will take, there's mesh in between here so that they are separated from the big girls. But soon we'll take that mesh apart so that they can intermingle, and hopefully everybody gets along together. That's attached to our first, our coop for the big girls, and they get an afternoon feeding as well. We give them some fermented food, but I didn't finish it. But we give them a second dose an afternoon feeding. I just kind of toss out. They're not coming right now because the dogs move. Leave them alone. Well, crap. They usually have water, but it appears as though we've knocked over their waterer. This is a simple bucket that we screwed cups on, and it is attached and fills here from our rainwater collection. Just kind of super secured. It will pour, and then fill the bucket, and then fill the cups. Well, that specific cup it doesn't fill. That's one of those other ones, but the one that he's drinking out of starts to fill right away. Let that fill. I'll show you their other feeder. We have an auto feeder that we fill with just dry feed and take off the caps so that they can come to, and they have dry food that they can go to, along with the fermented food. And then the other side of their coop opens this way. We have a couple of boxes in here No eggs. And then the rest of the nesting boxes on this side. Try to keep it secure so they're not got. And this is our little hurt bird. Come on, guys. Move, Bernice. She has a hurt leg, and so she tends to get picked on. We got 5 nesting boxes in here that they have plenty of options to lay their eggs. So there's 19 of those birds. At least 4 years old. So I'm not sure if they're still laying, but we keep them around for a little while just till we can figure it out. So afternoon chores after the birds are done. That's the pigs. We have 2 pigs right now. We have a Berkshire female and a Duroc male named Delilah and Pumbaa that we are hoping in the month we'll have some piglets and we can move on with breeding. I'll post some other videos about our adventures in pig farming so far. We bought 2. Sorry, trying to close the water. Gotta make sure you close the water because I have had it all leak out, and that was not a good thing. But I'll post some other clips on the pigs so that you can kind of see our adventures that we've gone with them. We kept a female. We got 2, a male and a female, and processed the male when he was about a year old, and kept the female, and decided we would try to breed her. And then in search for a male, found the Duroc male who needed a home, and doing a little research on their breeds, decided they would be a good crossbreed or hybrid pig. So we've had him since February. Hi, Pumbaa. Pumbaa pig. And that's Delilah. Delilah, you're a messy mess, Delilah. But feeding them is a lot. So again, with them, it's not that I ferment their food, but I water it down because it just helps with digestion, kind of fills it too. But they get about 6 to 7 pounds of food a day of grain. She will probably need more here within the next few weeks of being pregnant. And we'll separate him so that she has the opportunity to eat her food, because typical for a male and for a pig, he is a pig and tries to get the food even when I try to feed her. So what I do is take this bowl and I'm gonna toss it over the fence there so he will get to it, and then I'll go in and I'll get that bowl and dump the food into that. And And there you have it. Feed one and then the other. And then I gotta get the other bowl so that I have it available next time around. We need to separate them because he will go eat her food. And she's gotta come over here to this one. And then he will come over and push her away from that. Pumbaa pig. Is it good, Pumbaa? Yep. And we have them in a wooded space right now. Here's their waterer, which we made, and I have a video for that one as well. Yesterday we finished the farrowing paddock, which will be this space that's off the garden and where the chickens are, where I just kind of came through, which will give space for Delilah. We'll have to build a covered shelter and space for her to have her babies, and then at least that way she'll be separated from him, be able to get the food that she needs, and not have to fight for it, and then hopefully not have to be harmed either. So that's the space that we have for our animals. So we'd like to add oh yeah, this is the solar panel for our electric fencing that we have around the pigs. It is connected to a battery so that they can stay safe. And then as we walk around, we call this the farm because that's obviously where the animals are and where the garden is. And around the base, the perimeter of the garden, we've planted fruit trees. I just put in these 2 fig trees, and by each tree there is comfrey, which research shows that it's a magical plant. What are you doing? Get out of my garden. What are you looking for? Harley, go. The fence for the garden was to keep the dogs out, but obviously it doesn't work for him because he jumps right over it. What did you see? There's Mary Jane and there's Chevy. Mary Jane we got to train to protect the animals, but she's still a baby. She's only 8 months old, so we got to work on her. But anyways, comfrey, and then we have some plum trees. And oopsie, there he is. And some pears growing around the perimeter, and then the other trees I actually put inside the chicken coop. Which is a good garden and the chicken pasture. And I'm trying to turn that into kind of a composting pasture. So with the mulcher, we will drop dry mulch down. I'll also put grass clippings so that as they are foraging, they're fertilizing this area, which helps make it nice and fresh to grow. And so far these have been doing good. It's the apples and then more peaches, and I just put 2 more figs over on that side in the sun where we're growing our corn, squash, watermelon, and whatnot. So attached to the chicken run is my greenhouse, which Rob built. He builds everything around here, mostly I kind of help out with it, but some milled wood that we had, and polycarb for the side and the roof. And it is also attached to a rain gutter and 55-gallon barrels that he connects underneath. You can't see it, but so that we can fill any water or anything that needs water. And then it also connects to that IBC tote. I used to have my compost bin on the side here, but I decided to move it to the back, and I'll show another video on that one. I do a simple pallet 2 bins where I fill one and then flip it into the other side and then fill it with more. So kind of what got me into homesteading first was gardening, my attempts to garden, and knowing that I needed compost, and then knowing that I could use the chickens to help with compost. And that small little idea has turned into our homestead by the creek. More to come. Here comes Rob to help me with the greenhouse, because this was a great idea, especially in the winter time, because it lets in lots of light and keeps it nice and warm, except for the fact that now it keeps it way too warm. 111 right now. So my little seedlings that I'm trialing. So we decided to take the polycarb off of here and flip the side and lower that and just put chicken wire down to hopefully cool it down some. Now that that is done, time to head back and get dinner ready. We'll come back out at chicken bedtime to close up everything and take our eggs. Now it's time to head back to the house. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.